A prophecy shrouded in mystery and fear may come true in the year 2025, bringing with it profound reflections on its possible fulfillment. I invite you to immerse yourself in this impressive narrative, where we will explore the central role of one of the greatest seers and apostles of divine mercy, Saint Faustina Kowalska. Recognized as the Apostle of Divine Mercy, her unique mission was distinguished by the transmission of heavenly messages, involving both a call to trust and warnings that arouse reverence and introspection. Saint Faustina, like Jesus' first apostles, was given the task of spreading a sacred message. In her case, it was the invitation to humanity to trust fully in God's compassion and forgiveness. Her life became a living and profound example of the merciful love she witnessed in extraordinary visions and revelations. Today, as we tell her story, we want not only to present the trajectory of a unique historical figure, but also to highlight the strength of her mission as a direct messenger of Jesus Christ. Her mystical experiences were a clear reflection of the unfathomable dimension of divine mercy, interweaving beauty and solemnity in an account that continues to inspire millions around the world. Saint Faustina Kowalska was chosen for a unique mission: to promote the understanding of God's infinite mercy and to bring this message to the whole world. During her exceptional spiritual experiences, she witnessed profound and moving visions. In these visions, Jesus revealed to her the image of divine mercy, from which emanated rays of light, symbolizing blood and water, the eloquent signs of Christ's redemptive sacrifice and his infinite grace. But before we delve into the details of this vision that transformed the faith of many, it's important to know the highlights of Saint Faustina's unique life. Saint Faustina's story begins in a modest home, but one imbued with fervent devotion. From an early age, she showed a heart deeply receptive to the faith, a precious gift inherited from her parents. Her vocation to religious life manifested itself early on, but she faced years of waiting before she could fully respond to God's call. During this time, she worked as a maid to help support the family, remaining faithful to the purpose that burned in her soul. Saint Faustina's destiny took a decisive turn at an unexpected event, a ball to which she was accompanied by her sister. It was in this unlikely setting that something extraordinary happened, forever altering the course of her life and reaffirming her call to follow God's ways. It was during that dance that Saint Faustina had a transformative experience that would change her life forever. Jesus, in his divine majesty, appeared to her, rebuking her for her hesitation to fully follow her call to consecrated life. This heavenly encounter marked a decisive turning point. Deeply touched by this apparition, Saint Faustina left her hometown and entered the convent of the Sisters of the Blessed Virgin Mary of Mercy, where she took the name Sister Maria Faustina. With dedication, she humbly carried out various duties at the convent, such as cooking, tending the garden, and acting as a porter. Although her routine may have seemed simple, her inner life was extraordinary. Saint Faustina walked a unique mystical path, filled with divine graces and heavenly revelations. On many of these occasions, Jesus entrusted her with the mission of proclaiming the message of his infinite mercy to the world. In one of these remarkable visions, he revealed the image of divine mercy, rays of light shining from his heart, representing the blood and water poured out for the salvation of humanity. Jesus also taught Saint Faustina the powerful prayer of the Rosary of Divine Mercy, entrusting her with other devotional practices. Among the messages she received were the institution of Mercy Sunday, to be celebrated on the first Sunday after Easter, and the Hour of Mercy, at 3 p.m, the moment of Christ's death on the cross. Saint Faustina, in her profound obedience and zeal, recorded all these revelations in her diary, a work of inestimable spiritual value. Today, this diary is considered a treasure of Christian spirituality, revealing Saint Faustina's profound union with God and her immeasurable love for sinners, whom she ardently desired to lead to divine mercy. In her total dedication to the divine mission, Saint Faustina offered herself as a victim for the salvation of souls. With an unshakable faith, she faced the physical and spiritual trials that marked her life, often carrying the sufferings of others in her own heart. Her health was seriously affected by tuberculosis, a disease that accompanied her in her final years. On October 5, 1938, at the age of 33, Saint Faustina died in Krakow, leaving behind an extraordinary testimony of faith, humility, and compassion. The holiness of her life was recognized by the Church in 2000, when she was canonized and proclaimed patron saint of the third millennium. Her example and messages resonate deeply in a world increasingly in need of divine mercy. Saint Faustina left a legacy that continues to inspire millions to trust in God's infinite compassion. Among the most striking revelations of her mystical life is a vision that occurred in 1937, when she was nearing the end of her earthly journey. In this vision, heaven opened up before her eyes, revealing a scene of indescribable celestial glory. She saw a resplendent throne on which the Lord God was seated, surrounded by a multitude of angels and saints who worshipped him in reverence. Saint Faustina also saw Our Lady, dressed in a white and blue mantle, in an act of deep prayer with her hands intertwined. This vision not only confirmed the divine closeness that Saint Faustina was experiencing in her spiritual life, but also brought a powerful message of hope and intercession, showing the intimate connection between God's mercy and Mary's loving presence. A powerful and solemn voice reverberated through the sky, proclaiming, "This is the time of grace for the world. Behold the time of mercy for sinners. Behold the time of justice for the righteous." These words marked the beginning of a terrifying event of apocalyptic proportions. Immediately afterwards, a rain of fire came down from heaven, enveloping the whole earth. Entire cities, forests, fields, and houses were consumed by flames, a clear sign of God's wrath at the sins accumulated by humanity. The desperate cries of men, women, and children echoed through the air, begging for mercy and divine help. But there was no escape from the devouring fire, which symbolized divine justice. After this devastating scene, complete darkness overtook the sky, as if the deepest night had fallen upon the world. The sun, moon, and stars disappeared, leaving the earth plunged into absolute darkness. Only thunder rumbled in the darkness, shaking the foundations of the earth and bringing to mind the fear of God. This moment marked the arrival of the 3 days of darkness, a prophecy announced by countless saints and prophets throughout history. During these 3 days, no artificial light was able to dispel the darkness, except for the blessed candles which glowed with a supernatural radiance, giving protection to those who lit them with faith. The dangers were many. Those who dared to leave the house or open the windows faced the risk of being struck by lightning or falling into the traps of evil spirits who roamed the world in search of souls to drag to hell. In this trying scenario, Saint Faustina witnessed the descent of many good angels sent from heaven to help the faithful and console those on the brink of death. Jesus and Mary also appeared in different parts of the world, bringing comfort and encouragement to their children in the midst of darkness. Their presence conveyed hope, showing that even in the bleakest of times, God's love and mercy do not abandon those who trust in Him. Despite the extreme difficulties, many priests showed extraordinary zeal and courage in administering the sacraments during this period of darkness and trials. In Saint Faustina's vision, the presence of countless martyrs also stood out, souls willing to offer their lives out of love for God and for the benefit of others. These martyrs, with their total surrender, testified to the strength of faith even in the face of suffering and persecution. When the 3 days of darkness came to an end, a new splendor overtook the earth. The sky opened up, clearing completely, and the sun shone with an intensity and beauty never seen before. The flames that had consumed the world were extinguished, leaving behind a renewed earth, lush and full of life. On the horizon, a large luminous cross appeared in the sky, bearing the image of the crucified Jesus in its center. From this cross emanated rays of light that touched all living beings, a powerful symbol of divine mercy triumphing over divine justice. It was a moment of glory and redemption, Magnificent in majesty, Jesus descended from heaven accompanied by a host of angels and saints. He came to judge the living and the dead according to their actions on earth, thus ending an era and inaugurating a new time of peace and justice. Mary, the Blessed Mother, was also present, fervently interceding for all her children. Saint Michael the Archangel, the defender of truth, weighed souls on the divine scales, while Saint Peter, with the keys to the kingdom of heaven, opened the gates to the blessed. In the midst of this heavenly scene, a powerful voice echoed, "Behold, I make all things new. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." This vision not only revealed divine justice, but also God's immense love and mercy, reaffirming the promise of renewal and hope for all those who remain faithful. To him who is thirsty, I will give freely from the spring of the water of life. He who overcomes will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. These words resound like a divine invitation, laden with eternal promises for all those who seek God's love and mercy. Saint Faustina's life is a deeply inspiring story that leads us to reflect on the immensity of God's love and the seriousness of the sin that offends him. Her testimony urges us to conversion, calling us to trust in God's mercy, which is infinitely more powerful than any evil. This message transcends time and prepares us to face future challenges with hope and vigilance, assuring us that everything works for the good of those who call on God in faith. In Saint Faustina's experiences, we can contemplate the transforming power of God's merciful love. Her mystical visions and the messages she received reveal that, even in the darkest moments, divine mercy is always ready to welcome repentant hearts. This reality invites us to reflect deeply on how we too can be bearers of this mercy in the world around us. Saint Faustina teaches us that God's mercy is not just a gift to be received, but a treasure that we must share with generosity and love. In every act of compassion, forgiveness, and helping others, we have the opportunity to reflect God's merciful heart. Her story is a living call for us to be instruments of mercy, bringing light to those in darkness and hope to those who suffer. May we, inspired by the life of this great saint, walk with confidence in God's love, recognizing that he calls us not only to receive his mercy, but also to live it fully, transforming our world into a reflection of his infinite compassion. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.